Hey guys, welcome to Hip Hughes History. We're banging out some professional development today. Discipline for Dummies. I've been doing this for 15 years, and I'm going to tell you, I learned very little in college about classroom management. So I'll give you my top 10, and then you can take it or leave it, and I'm going to say giddy up for the ride. Let's do it. Number one, don't focus on classroom management. Don't focus on discipline. Focus on creating and facilitating learning experiences. When you do that and you do that well, when you have authentically engaged kids, when your classroom has flow, when time flies by, bad behavior just kind of seems to melt away. It shouldn't really be the focus of your classroom. If it is, I would focus more on those learning experiences rather than just on solving that bad behavior. But definitely have a product-based classroom, something that's based on composition and not just consumption of knowledge. And then you can provide differentiation and different roles for different kinds of learners and different types of kids, as well as having something meaningful at the end of your classroom experience. So giddy up for that. There you go, guys. Don't focus on discipline. Focus on the learning. Number two, avoid micromanaging. Give yourself flexibility in your rules. I don't think you should have more than 3 rules. I teach high school. I'm sure it could be different, well, the lower grades you go, but my 3 rules are always the same. Something about lateness and preparation, something about respect, and then I have don't be an idiot. Everything falls into those 3 rules. Once you get into don't get out of your seat or don't sharpen your pencil after the bell rings and you get up into all of these kind of details, that's when you get more confrontation. If you have these nice 3 broad rules, you have much more flexibility in how you want to deal with situations. You want to be consistent, you want to be fair, but you don't want to be all stuck in the devil in the details. So keep it broad and swing for the fences. Number 3, model the cray-cray. At the beginning of the year, I go over my 3 kind of stupid rules, and I really focus on learning and having really powerful experiences in the beginning of the year, but I want to make sure my kids know that I can go there if I need to, because at the end of the day, I have an objective, and we're going to get there, and if you're in the way, there's going to be a problem. So I'll normally ask for a volunteer. We'll kind of be relaxed. I'll go, oh, thank you, Johnny, very much. And what I'm going to do, John, what did I say about messing with the kids next to you? Do you want me to go there? Because I'd rather not go there. But just doing that small activity means I don't have to do it for the rest of the year. I don't think I've ever really raised my voice to that level. But at the beginning of the year, it's a little bit of a joke, but I want them to know that I got a little bit of the cray-cray in store if I need to go. Canned lines. Number 4, have some delivery systems so when you hear something and you don't want to blow it up, you have a line you can deliver. SHIT, they say that all the time, but I'm not going to tolerate it to the point where I'm going to just allow it to go on, but I'm also not going to write up every kid who says it, otherwise I'd have a large problem. I just want to make sure they know I've heard it and I'm not going to tolerate that. So if I hear that, normally I will say something as opposed to, would you please take that word out of your mouth and put it back kind of the other end where it belongs. And I get a little bit of giggle and the kid laughs, okay, Mr. Hughes, my bad. And I have other delivery lines. One of my favorite ones is if a kid is misbehaving, I go, Johnny, you really should check out in the next few days if the UPS truck comes around your house. And Johnny goes, why? Well, because I sent you a package. Isn't that nice of Mr. Hughes? When you get that package, be excited because when you open it up, I put in 5 years so you could grow up. And we have a little bit of a laugh and yada, yada, yada. But I don't want to put that whole behavior issue again into the center of the room. So get a couple lines, be ready to take them out and slay the children. Number 5, avoid punitive humiliation. This is kind of an easy thing teachers do. They go, Johnny, you're going to move, you're going to sit up here in front of the class with me. Again, when you're doing that, when you're putting Johnny on the spot, you're elevating the situation. And this isn't about winning. This isn't about winning an argument. You're going to win at the end of the day. It's about not elevating the argument to the point where Johnny has some type of classroom credibility. So you always want to try to solve these problems on the side and on the slide. And if you have to, take the kid away from everybody. Go, Johnny, man, we got to talk. Let's do this. or whatever, and then make that personal connection so you can go back into the room, and if he does switch seats, he's the one who decided to switch seats. I've done this many times where I'll go up to, Johnny, and I'll go, Johnny, this isn't working out, man. I'm stopping every 10 minutes. You're interrupting my flow. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to go to jail. My wife will leave me. My kids won't love me. It'll all be your fault, Johnny. So what do you say we pick another seat? Where could you sit? Go where you empower the child rather than disembowel the child. I said disembowel a child, which is quite inappropriate. Let's move on. Number 6, the in-class lecture readjustment. I'm not stopping for anybody, and I've made this point before, that you don't want to put a focus beam on the attention that the kid is doing that is bad. So if you're doing explicit instruction and a kid puts their head down or they're whispering or they're not paying attention, don't stop talking. Just kind of blend it in. So if I'm doing something like, let's say, explicit instruction on, Washington and the Whiskey Rebellion, and I'm saying, look guys, it's really important to understand that when Washington brings the supremacy clause to those, tax avoiders in Western Pennsylvania, he's not going to let them put their head down on the table and not pay attention to the lecture. What would Washington be saying if he let Johnny do that? He would be saying, I'm a punk and I ain't no punk. So everybody should understand now why Washington did what he did. You got that, Johnny? It's just a little bit of a kind of like a tuck and roll to make sure that Johnny understands that he should be paying attention and that you're not going to stop the lecture to go there. And in a sense, it's kind of using humor and a little bit of a wake-up call in order to get that kid to pay attention. And then if you got to go to the next level, you got to go to the next level. But don't stop, baby. Don't stop for anybody.
Baby, if you've ever wondered whatever became.
Number 7, plan your opening hardcore. 9 out of 10 times when there's a problem in the class, it's because the kids are bringing it from a different class into your classroom. And if they have downtime when they walk in, if they're not walking into a multimodal experience that's kind of soaking them up to give them something important to do right away, then you have that chance of that kind of spilling over from previous classes. So I would say really concentrate on your anticipatory set. What do they hear when they walk in your room? What do they see on the wall when they walk in your room? If you have that chance to grab their attention and you're not using it, then you the one who cray. All right, let's giddy up number 8. Number 8, don't be a tattletale, because snitches get stitches, baby. Look, I'm not saying that you should never call home. Of course, parents need to be informed if their student is failing and the student's doing well. Communicate with parents, and certainly communicate with administration. And if anything rises to a level of difficulty that you need to go there, you need to go there. But whenever possible, try to deal with that kid as a human being inside your classroom. Kids respect that. When you grab the phone and you're calling security, you're calling administration, you're calling in their mommy and daddy, you're not really solving the core issue, and kids see you as somebody who has to go to an outsider to deal with them. You can deal with kids. We're teachers. That's what we do for a living. So find a way to talk to the kid and deal with it inside the classroom whenever possible. And then if you got to pull the ripcord, you got to pull the ripcord. If anything, go to other people in your building. There's probably another teacher that knows how to deal with that kid that can maybe whisper a serious threat into their ear. So at the end of the day, guys, that's what you want to do. You want to deal with the problem inside the classroom. If at all possible, if you can't do that, you got to pull the ripcord. You got to pull the ripcord. But always remember that snitches get stitches. Number 9, find out more about that kid. Find out what that kid likes. Find out where that kid's locker is. And then make it a point to walk past their locker every, few times a day and give them a little fist bump or, make a joke. Or I do Holocaust stations where I'll go up and I'll go, "What's federalism?" Just to make it interesting so the kid knows that you're trying. Kids really do appreciate that. Find out what interests that kid and then see if you can bring it into the curriculum. If you can find a way to do that, you're going to win that kid over. And every time you see that kid, man, do one of those or do something just to connect with that kid on a human level being, because that's going to be the magic key to Narnia. All right, let's finish up. Number 10, and this might be the most important one. Whatever you do, never take it personally. If you take it personally and it rises to that type of argument, not only are you never going to win that argument or win that kid over, because at the end of the day, it all goes back to the learning. It's what we want the kid to be engaged with, otherwise we're not doing our jobs correctly. And if you take it personally, not only are you going to lose that battle, but you're going to screw up your reputation. That's going to be around the school in 30 seconds flat. And then your reputation is ruined. It makes it much harder to create, the foundations for all of those other rules that we just talked about. So much of this is built on previous years. Once you get your reputation down and kids know how you operate, they know how you play the game, they'll play it with you. But if you take it personally and you let your temper get the best of you, then you're playing their game. You're playing a school game and you're going to lose that game. So play the game smart, play it to win, but never take it personally. There you go. All right, there you go, guys. 10 tips for disciplines for dummies. I'm not calling you a dummy. And certainly if you haven't subscribed to Hip Use History by now, maybe I am calling you a dummy. All you got to do is click on my hand and watch the magic of the internet take you to my subscription page where you can subscribe for free to hundreds of fun and focused lessons. So there you go, guys. And if you haven't checked out United Stuff of America, that's on Saturday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where you might be seeing this ugly mug talk a little bit about the history to the kiddies out there. All right, giddy up for that, guys. Where attention goes, energy flows. And we'll see you next time we do a little bit of the teaching